everybody. All right, so don't need to have that up just yet. That's for people who want to see the Dani on braid design. I am currently just trying to trim the excess thread from the or clean off the old silk from the leaders on the remaining 20 tama that I hadn't gotten finished. And then I'll get started setting up the warping frame. So, yeah, what I'm doing is I'm just cleaning on the ends here. Let's see. Let me move the camera. Or actually, I'll just move forward so I'm more in the camera frame when I'm doing stuff. All right. Sorry about the background noise. Of course, the cars and the motorcycles have to race on our very short street, but I've mentioned that before. I do apologize in advance. I started a new migraine about 3:30 this afternoon, so sorry about the car again. So I'm not all that comfortable. I did take the pain medicine that I have for it. So I should be relatively okay. I'm definitely doing better than I was when I first came home. I have like 64 tama already ready to go with the leaders ready. The silk did arrive today. I posted some pictures of it on Facebook and Twitter, or X. I'm still going to call it Twitter until they change the actual URL. But yeah, what I'm doing is I'm cutting off the excess. Let's see. There you go. Cutting the excess thread off at the knot. Hopefully not damaging the leader at all, or I could just like pull off the remainder. This shouldn't take me that long. I've already taped the floor with blue painter's tape so that gonna take the headphone out for right now. I'll take a look, see if anybody's every so often see if anybody's decided to join the stream, though I did only send out one invite today to Dani, but I know it's early her time zone. It's probably gonna have to be like a weekend or a Thursday night when I don't have to work Friday to actually be able to get her on. Let's see, there we go. So, but I figure she's going to pop on at least once or so with, oh, crud. I accidentally split the leader there. Let's see. You can see that I did that. So I got to fix that, but I will set that aside. I don't have to do that right now. Got a bit of excess here. That's all clumped up. Let me cut that off so that I don't accidentally start dropping tama all over the place. All right. Okay. Chop, chop, chop. Yeah, you guys can see that from the side. There we go. Hate wasting this much silk, but there's not much I can do with it. It's not really reclaimable. And let me catch up with the chat real quick. There we go. Did say hi to Summer Butterfly before she chatted like about a half hour before the stream, or 45 minutes before the stream was due to start. Good to see you on Marmar. Hey, Sammy, nice to see you. Yeah, sorry, didn't realize that I was answering that without seeing it. But yeah, I'm functional, just not great tonight. Let's see. I hope that your nap is restful and you feel better when you're done. Hey, Rachel, I don't recognize the name, so if this is your first time on the stream, welcome, welcome. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I try and read the chat regularly and answer as best I can. And I don't mind answering questions. That's a good chunk of why this stream is happening, or my streaming in general happens, so I'm happy to explain things. Thank you very much, Chris. Not sure if I've seen your name on before or not. If I have missed you before, welcome to the stream. I do try and say hi to people the first time I see them in chat. I realize that's not sustainable if the channel keeps growing, so I'll do it while I can. All right. But yeah, the fun part is figuring out exactly where I can cut on here without damaging the leader. But I've got plenty of leaders on here, so if I have to retie the knot, it's not usually a big deal. If they start getting short, I just need to order more leader thread, or it's actually kite string that I'm using. It's like 10-pound kite string or something along those lines. But I've got all the tama for the next braid already set up with leaders, except for the one that I just damaged here. So once I get these set, I'll have all of them ready to go, and I will get started putting on the silk on the warping frame and get started warping. I got all the silk in that I needed. It's on cones, so I'm hoping very much that this will actually make it a lot easier to do it the way I want to do it. So I got my fingers crossed there. Dani wants a roughly like a 32-inch or so belt. She's supposed to message me and let me know exactly how long she wants it. But if she wants it 32, I'm going to warp it up for roughly 36, because I can always end, a few inches early. That shouldn't be a problem. So since I tend to lose about 40% of the warped length by the time the braid is finished, and I'm shooting for 3 feet. 3 feet is 60% of 5 feet. So I'm going to be running the thread 12 threads 10 feet long, tie the end off on one of the leaders, and then run it through the D-rings I'm going to set up, and then tie it off on another tama. That'll give me 5 feet on each length, probably a little bit of margin there, and I shouldn't have to play thread chicken at the end. Let me catch up real quick here. Hey, Eva, nice to see you on. Yes, I have eaten dinner. I've had plenty of caffeine. I even had a dessert, and I've been home for about at least 2 hours before the start of the stream. And I did take my pain medicine as soon as I got home. Theoretically, I can take it every 6 hours, so I got about 4 hours to go before I would theoretically need to take another dose. So, yeah, this is mostly designed as a thread saving measure, so that I can theoretically braid as close to the end of the threads as I want, still have all the weights hanging off. And that way, if I'm using silk or something expensive like that, I can get the most out of it without losing a lot of it. So on these, I lost maybe 12 inches or so, but from the center of here to where they're hanging on the edge, that's actually probably closer to like 2.5 feet. So at the longest, so I actually had some of it coming up here, and I did have it out a bit. So yeah, probably between 12 and 18 inches was lost, so not too bad. But I figure as long as I've taken my pain medicine and I'm still coherent, which I found when I take pain medicine, if I'm actually in pain, because sometimes I get the visual onset for migraines, and if I've been having a lot of painful ones, I'll take the pain medicine right away. And sometimes, like about 1 out of 20 or 1 out of 30 migraines, I'll get the visuals but no pain. And when that happens, I don't like the effects that I get from the pain medicine. I feel fuzzy. I'm not anywhere near as coherent. So when I've got a reasonable amount of pain that the pain medicine's fighting against, I'm not really anywhere near as loopy as I would be if there was no pain. So basically, if my head hurts and it doesn't hurt too much, I'm basically functional. If I have to take pain medicine at work, I do programming, and I haven't had a an increase in the level of errors I make doing that. So I'm pretty sure that my cognition is where it needs to be. But as far as worrying about physical safety, I don't run the big machines if I've taken pain medicine or anything where I might have a slip up, injure me. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I don't want to spend all my life, well, obviously not all my life, but I don't want to spend more of my life than I have to not doing, sorry about that, not doing the things I want to do. So I'll pick that up when I'm done with the rest of these. That way I don't pick it up and then drop it again and pick it up and drop it again. It's not a tango I want to play tonight or dance tonight. Okay. And if I'm too far out of it, I'm pretty sure you folks will let me know. I did finish off my soda, and I didn't have another one in the refrigerator, so it's currently in the new one's currently in the freezer. So in probably about a half hour or so, like about I'll say about 8:15 my time, I'll head down and get it, so it's not actually frozen. It's just nice and cool, and caffeine will help. I mean, it may not help, but it's kind of a comfort thing for me. So even if it's placebo, I'm willing to put up with that. All right. Well, looks like we've got a reasonable amount of people here. I'm going to go ahead and put up the design for Dani's braid for a little bit so people can take a look. Thank you very much. Yes, I function pretty well with migraines. I do occasionally have what my roommate refers to as migraine brain, where I kind of like focus in on something specifically and ignore better options for some stuff. But I'm pretty good at like trying to stop and go, hey, is this really the best course of action when I got a migraine? Because I know I have a tendency for that. But yeah, I'm pretty good at eating and caffeinating and hydrating so that I don't run into other problems. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and put that up. And let's see. Let me hit the F11 key there. There we go. So I'll leave this up for a little bit. There's the bottom. Okay, there we go. That's all of the elements on the screen. I'm down to about 6 or 7 left to cut. So I'm making good time here. Had a Constable Association meeting last night on Zoom. So while that was going on, I was trimming this as well, where I got most of them trimmed and ready to go. All right, so let's see. This is excess thread. That is leader, so I don't want to cut that. All right, so should be able to just cut that and not have this snagging on everything. I know you guys can't see what I'm talking about, but I'm just trying to make sure I don't drop Tama all over the floor again. Okay, so let me go ahead and move it back to what we were at. So, and the previous 4-day migraine, I was feeling kind of low. So one of the things I wanted to do was definitely get started on the next braid, because I don't want to feel like I'm just kind of stagnating in between. I was thinking about doing a intermediate palette cleansing braid, but since Dani's braid is not going to be that long, this should take me about half as long to do this braid as it did for Rob's braid, because his was about 5 feet. This is going to be about probably roughly 2.5, maybe a little bit longer. And I should be able to warp it up quite a bit faster than I did before, because I don't have to spin, or not spin, wind the silk on spools to begin with, because it's already on cones. And I shouldn't have to fight with the spools, because the cones are designed to actually let the thread go off the top rather easily. See, I keep getting alerts. Let's see. Looks like it's just normal stuff. So I play Ingress and have since, I think, right about the time Pokemon Go came out. I heard about Ingress and that they used the same maps, and I wanted to be able to make Pokestops and gyms in my area. And actually, I found I enjoyed playing Ingress more than Pokemon Go. And in this area, a lot of the communications for Ingress factions is handled on Telegram. So I get the occasional alerts for that. I'm not all that active with playing Ingress right now, but I am keeping, daily activity minimums going to keep having some of the stuff, streaks and whatnot, keep going. And they have an option in Ingress when you get to the maximum level. They let you restart back over at 0, where you supposedly have some extra bonuses, which I really haven't seen. So I'm trying to get my way back up to the maximum level, which in Ingress is 16. And I'm about like 14 right now. So the rate I'm going, that'll probably be another couple of years. But yeah. Like I said, I have fun playing it. Though I've been playing Pokemon Go more lately. Something I can have up on the car, so when I hit stoplights or stuff like that, I can see if there's something to grab there, and it kind of tracks my motion, so it gets some benefits from that. And I do it up some breaks at work. All right, so I have the one that dropped and the one I need to retie the loop on, and then I'll be ready to start setting up the warping frame. Yeah, bending over with a migraine is not fun for me. Okay. This is the last one I need to cut off. Sorry, it hasn't really been much on the main camera. That's mostly set up so that when I start running them through the D-ring for setting up the braid, you can see what that looks like. That seems to be what people enjoy for when I'm doing that. Okay, so I think I'm done. Well, I may have to use the scissors to clean off. Yeah. There we go. All right, just have to tie the leader on this one, and I will be ready to start. So I got about 64 tama pre-staged, where I'll bring the thread to, and they'll be ready to tie off. And then I'll have another 20 in the box here. I'm definitely not going to get 64 done in like the hour and a half or so remaining on the stream, or hour and 40 minutes or so. But I will definitely be able to get a good chunk into it, hopefully. And then like at the end of the stream, I'll like set up what I have left so it's ready to go. I do plan on doing another stream on Thursday. And Wednesday, I believe they're doing Trial of the Century on Ian and Rob's channels, so I don't want to interfere with that. All right, let me put the coma blocks in the right spot. All right, so let me see if you can, there we go. There's the warping frame. Let's angle that up just a little bit. Okay, so that thing in the background there is my warping frame. Down there is the rack that I'm going to put the spools on. Let me go ahead and get the silk so I can show you what I've got for Dani's braid. Oh, and again, while I'm not going to mention specific numbers as far as the hours are concerned, there we go. That's the silk. We are looking at about 6 to 7 weeks at the rate I've been going to reach monetization. All right. So these ones, let's see. I don't think they've got the color number on the tags on these like they have when I buy it a single or at a time. So let's see. That's 2,500 meters of silk thread. Hey, Francisca, nice to see you on. Welcome to the stream. I have my Tama prepped, and I am ready to start setting up the warping frame. So I have 12 of these silk cones that I'm going to set up, and then I'll start warping warping up the Tama on the Taka-Dai. But yeah, that's a lot of silk. Hey, Rachel, nice to see you. Or no, you are already on. Sorry, I apologize. Yeah, these are the colors that Dani selected. In the description of this the stream, it lists the store I buy this from in Japan, and you can take a look and see what their color palette is. They've got, I think, about 60 or so colors you can choose from in this thread weight. Okay, so, all right, so this will be all of the blue. Yeah, kinyu.net, that's, there we go. That's the site that I do. Actually, let me open this up and then I can show it on the camera without having the plastic there we go. Oops, sorry about the white balance. Let me see, that says 50. Yeah, that goes 50. Okay. Yeah, that's not showing it that well. Let's see if we can do this. There we go. But yeah, that's a site I use. They've been very nice. Ordering usually takes about a week or a little less to get to me. Let's see, real quick. These are the D-rings I'm going to use. Let's see. Let me get this ready to go. Looks like I have one that needs to be unwrapped one more time than the rest of them. Okay, so this is that's annoying. Let me just go ahead and unroll all of this so that it's not an issue. apologize for getting distracted here a little bit. Why is that? Oh, that's why it's having the issue. Okay. All right. So why is that having that issue? Let me untangle these. Okay, almost there. All right, there we go. That looks better. And so usually what I do is I pass it through like this, just because it gives me a better view. All right, so these need to go on there like that. And I'll be wrapping it around this portion of the D-ring. Okay, so I might be a little out of the camera or the microphone's pickup range occasionally. If so, I do apologize. And let's put my ugly rear on camera. Get these set up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, let's see. Can you see that? Yeah, let's see. Move this camera more appropriately. All right. Hey, we're up to 17 people. That's a pretty nice watching level. Let me check real quick, see if anybody needs a response on Rumble. Yeah, it looks like I only got 2 people watching on Rumble. Bump that to live. Okay, yep. The leader is kite string. I wouldn't. No, nope. I don't think I've officially answered. It's not actually. During a lot of the braiding, the way the lark said knot is the leader actually would be under no tension at all because it would be tied off with the silk prior to where it connects up to the leader. When I get to the end of the silk and it's starting to hang from the leader, then it does have the weight there, but it probably is not the. It's about the same stress as the rest of it. What it is, it's just a thread extension that's already pre-tied off on the tama, so I don't have to tie around the tama each time and tie it off. That's a little more difficult than just tying it through a little loop at the end of the leader. And it's like, I think it's a nylon kite string. I will look up again. I did post it while I was on vacation when somebody was asking about it, but I will find the link and post where I bought it from before, either as a community post or I'll add it to the regular description for the streams. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and try and get the warping frame primed for the blue thread, which basically means I'm going to run up a thread from each cone up through the mid-stage binder clip handles, and then I'll tie them up, gather them all up together at the top where there's a single binder clip, and then I will use a regular or a different type of clip to hold them together, and that way I can then I can set up the white for the other color. I mean the alternating color. All right, so I'm going to turn this on and focus it as best I can to here so I can see well. That improve your guys' view. So the way I'm gonna sit, I'm probably gonna be blocking the camera. I apologize for that. So wish me luck. This is the actual get it going type thing. Move this a bit more over so I'm not sitting on it entirely. All right. My green screen, so I can keep you folks from seeing how horribly messy it is up here. All right, so I'm going to sit on the floor here for a second. And find the thread. And pass it up through. Okay, so there's that one. And up to the center. Okay, I am going to, let's see, clip it there, put that magnet there. Okay, so that's one. And this is tied off as well. Looks like they're using the lark's head knot to keep it from unwinding in shipping. Okay, so this is two. If you folks can't hear me, I apologize. I can probably switch over to my headset since it has a microphone on me. Let me know if the sound gets to be a problem. All right, so there's two of them. Okay. And three here. Let's just undo this lark's head knot. It's an easy pull apart thing. There we go. I still have this kind of saran wrap in between, so hopefully they don't sorry, I'm trying to use my words while I'm using that part of my brain for other things. So the saran wrap is to keep the threads from one side to accidentally mixing up with the threads from the other side and causing problems. All right, so we got three, and let's get four in. Okay. All right. And, oops, that one needs to go through this binder mid-stage. The reason I'm separating them out is to hopefully keep them from getting tangled up as easily as they're coming up. Each one goes up to this mid-stage point, goes through basically a guider loop. All right, so let's see, we got all four of them there. That's good. All right. Let's hold on to it. Okay, so I'm ready for five. There we go. It's ready to go. And I have a good feeling about this. And there is five. Thinking I might epoxy a magnet or two on the wood here somewhere to get it to be a little more easy to rest the clip on different spots while I'm working on it. or it's not as wobbly as it is on the spot I'm using it now. But that'll be for a later time because I don't have it on hand and I don't want to have to. There we go. Just trying to make sure they're all together. I'm not missing any. All right, so whoops. I just realized that one did not go through the top, which it needs to do. Let's go ahead and pass you on through. There we go. And okay, we've got it half primed for the blue color. All right, so that's 6. All right, so I'm ready for 7. That one's already loose. Let me see, is it? Huh. Looks like the other end of this already got wrapped around another. There we go. Got wrapped around another spool base. So I'm gonna re-roll this one just a little bit so that, oops. Yeah, re-roll it back up a little bit so it doesn't have a bunch of loopy thread that's not same tension as the rest of them. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, we got 7. Sorry if I'm running slow. I'm trying to make sure I'm not making any mistakes. Okay, so let's go ahead and do 8. It's this one here. This one already came loose. I don't have to pull the knot free. And pass that through the lower loop and the upper loop. And I think when I get this side primed, I'm going to check the time and probably run down and grab my soda at this point. I'm getting a little thirsty. And it's a little warmer up here than I would like, but it's not horrible. Okay, so. All right, so I've got 7. Right, so 8 isn't. Yeah, that one's there, so yeah, this one's the next one. Pull that knot free. And 2, 4, 6. 2, 4. Okay, so I already did 8, so I'm on 9 now. I'm not 8. Okay. Pass this one through. And here. All right, pull that one even with the rest of them. And clip on there. Make sure that's not pulling free. All right, so ready for number 10. There we go. Trying really careful not to wrap the threads around each other to the point where it accidentally they bind or tie, wrap around each other the wrong way. And I may, if I have problems with tension and static electricity, I might try and fill up a spray bottle with a little bit of, or mostly water with a little bit of conditioner. I'll just have to, do a cold water wash to just rinse everything out and let it dry before sending it to Dani. Oops. That one. Nothing damaged or anything like that. I just realized that one of the threads was not in the clip with the rest of them. All right, so there we go. It's holding. We got 2 left to go. And I will be ready to start warping up the blue. I will check the chat before I head downstairs after I warp the first one. Okay. All right. Pull that even with the rest of them. Kind of hold them together. And reclip it. Make sure they're all held. There we go. And my last one. Okay. Pull that off. There we go. And for the size of braid I'm doing for Dani, this should be enough for probably about at least 20 to 25 braids, that have this color in them. If we're dealing with the same length. And I just pulled some relative to others. Let's make sure they're all together. All right, that looks good. All right, so we should be ready to start. I'm gonna click this, check the chat real quick, then I'm gonna start walking it out. I also have to pre-stage the tama. All right, let me do that real quick. Not pre-staging the tama is a mistake. I have done more than once. I prefer to avoid that. Okay. Tama is pre-staged. Let's move that little screw off of there. And let's see what I've missed on the chat. Okay. All right. I'm glad to hear the sound is good. I'm good to know the folks can hear me. All right. Lady Ninja, I am not sure I have seen you on before. If this is your first time chatting on the stream, welcome, welcome. If you have any questions about anything you want to know, please feel free to ask. I will do my best to answer them, and I do not mind getting questions. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. With any luck, this will be nice and easy. Okay. All right. All the threads look good. Looks like I'm pulling everything. And I'm just going to walk back. And oh my God, this is so easy compared to using the spools. It's not even funny. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and tie this off. I'm pretty sure that winding them on the spools was causing static as well. All right. And I'm going to do the usual 3 knots I was doing before. So there's knot 1. And knot 2. See, that one is not. I'm going to undo this because that one's a little short. It's not catching through. See if I can fix that real quick. Well, I don't want to untie the thing all the way, but all right, let's just make sure that it, even though it's short, it goes into the knot rather than outside the knot. And yep, there we go. That's a nice one. And okay, there we go. I'm going to quickly roll this up so that I'm about where I should be. All right, now it's good for walking back. Let's just walk this back here. Oh, almost forgot. I need to pre-stage some blue tape for marking the halfway point. Because if I don't have the halfway point marked, it gets a lot more confusing, and I'll occasionally have a set of tama where one is really long and one is really short, which really messes up for planning on the braid length. Okay. Yeah, these are probably not the best bits of tape for marking the middle. I'll try and improve that as I go along with this. And I'll probably only keep like 3 marked ones as I'm going along, and I'll unmark them as I add new ones. Okay. So let's walk my way back. All right, I'm standing over, you can't see it, but I'm standing over the halfway mark on the taped on the floor for the halfway distance, 5 feet from the frame. All right, and where did I put the scissors? Because I'll need to cut these off. I see them. Left them on the top of the computer. So, scissors are there. And get on the right side. Okay, so there's the halfway point over here. And all right, so I'm going to put the clip on upstream of where I'm going to cut. It should keep that from causing a problem. And I'm going to have a nice good grip here and cut that. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk over here to the Taka-Dai, and I need to, whoops, sorry. I'm going to pass it up through here. First one or two is the most difficult. I'm just going to make sure that I get all of them. No, I don't. Right, I'm going to quickly walk back to make sure I got my tensioning even. All right. These are actually doing pretty good. All right, so I'm holding back far enough I can feed through. All right, now if I remember right, I have to feed up through the bottom. So let's just pass it through like that. And move it over here so you folks can see where I'm tying it off. And okay. Yeah, just gonna make sure that we're not messing up and pulling these unevenly. All right, are they all through? Got a couple more. There we go. All of them are passed through. And just pull that snug. There we go. The knot is tied. And there's the second one. Nice even pull. And there is the third one. All right, so I can start wrapping up the tama here until I get the tension from the other side pulled mostly even. Okay, let's do the lark set knot real quick. All right, so there's that one there. Okay, I'm wrapping up from the other side as I'm coming up here. This is about half as long as, oops, let's move that back there. These are about half as long as the other ones, or the last braids ones, so. And these are the lower rail ones. Okay. And trying to remember which way I was doing it. I think it was the left side is up here and this side is back here. So this actually should, well, I can, let's see, can you see? Let me pull this forward so you guys can see more of what's going on here. There we go. All right, let's see if we can't get a little better in focus. All right, there we go. All right, so here's the flag here. And then what I am going to do is try to remember the way I had it. Let these untangle. Okay, so it's going over the top. So, all right, there we go. Can't really do this effectively until I have the second or third one on, but what's going on here is now that I've twisted like that, this one here is over the top of this one, but I got the first set here. I'm going to move it in the middle for right now just so it holds better, and I'll have to probably yeah. Until I have a couple on here, it's going to unwind on its own. But all right, so that needs to be a little further forward. Let's just move this one. There we go. All right. But yeah, so this one on the right is going over the top of the one there. It's twisted around, so it's like a half twist over it. And like I said, until I actually get the rest of them on here, or more than one on here, it's going to not want to do this properly. Hey, Gwen, nice to see you on. Let's see, let me respond to these here. Okay, that's good to know. Rachel, I started Kumihimo on the disc. I like a cardboard disc with like notches cut into it about 24, 25 years ago. I started on the Taka-Dai about 2 to 3 years after that, when I got plans for made one, realized it was much too small for me, and I did a bunch of changes, and then I made this one about probably 6 months after the first one. So it was about like 2002, no, yeah, 2002, 2003, somewhere in that time frame. It was about the time I met my wife in 2003, I think, when I built this one. And the first pickup braid I did was only about 2 to 3 years ago. But it was more a matter of being kind of intimidated on doing it. But once I tried it, I actually picked it up very quickly for doing the pickup braids. But I've enjoyed braiding on the Taka-Dai for quite a while. I think 2005, I tried like a really complex laurel leaf pattern, so that worked pretty good. Hey, Gwen, nice to see you on. No worries about being late. Bad news is I've got a migraine. Good news is I've taken my pain pills, and the silk has arrived, and it's working much, much better than I was worried about. It might not work as well. So, hey, Kathleen, nice to see you on. All right, so it's been long enough that my soda is actually probably nice and cold. So I'm going to run down real quick and grab that. While I'm doing that, I'll put on some hold music for you wonderful people here. Let's do our traditional features. Let's not make it too loud. I'll be back as soon as I can. Actually, let's move this light over here so you guys can see a little better what I'm doing. Okay, I am back up. But stop the hold music. There we go. One of the things I definitely want to do is come up with like a better music setup or stuff I can do for background and stuff like that. I need to make a couple of swoops or something like that, but I haven't gotten around to learning the proper skills yet. Hey, Snowfers, nice to see you on. Johanna, she just kind of wanted stuff in her life related to like her cultural heritage, as far as like, you know, snowflakes and designs like that. Also, things related to law enforcement and her run for DA. So let me go ahead and put up the design so you guys can see what it is. All right, so snowflake designs here. These were the two that she liked. So, and then we've got a heart key from like, you know, Kingdom Hearts or whatever. We have a cross for like religious significance. And this was kind of a variation on the logo she had for her run for DA. So it's like a sword and a shield that kind of looks heart-like. So these were the designs that she was happy with. All right, let me switch back to here. All right, take that down. Okay, that's probably a better explanation than I was able to do. I'm having a little trouble reaching for some of my words tonight. No worries. Actually, we're doing pretty good now. We were starting out like about 8 to 10, then we bumped to 15. Now we're about 23, so that's a pretty decent stream for me. Okay. Yeah, definitely a winter theme. All right, let me grab a couple of drinks here, and then I'll start setting up the white bread. But this is working much, much better than I was worried it would. And a whole lot better than the last setup. So, all right. I'm going to need to, I think I'm going to move the little stool I've got over there so I can sit on it rather than sit on the floor, since I need to be a little higher up. Liquid caffeine. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the white ones out. So each of these cones is 2,500 meters of silk. And I'm definitely going to have to like start numbering them for storage so that I don't mix up the colors. Okay. Let's grab these two out so I'm not having to hold on the box at the same time. Yeah. With me, I can mostly think clearly. It's the problem of translating it back out to my voice. Yep. I never actually played it, but I have seen stuff from it, so I have some stuff like that. Sorry to hear that you muted yourself. I'm assuming your audio feed. I was downstairs, so you probably only missed the whole music, so no worries on that. I don't think I've revealed the secret to life, the universe, and everything while you were muted. The answer is, of course, 42. But the question is, what is 6 times 9? And that's just so you realize how messed up our universe is. No, I do not need a... Oh, that was silver thread from the last braid. For a second, that looked like cat hair. When I was downstairs, Cuddlebug, the cyborg kitty, wanted a little bit of petting, so I gave him just a little bit, since I can't, in the stream just to pet him, which I'm sure he's finding a major flaw in my character for not having done that. But I do give him lots of lap time. Problem is 15 minutes after he's popped down, he comes back because I've never done it, and I'm abandoning him, and it's oh so horrible, and I'm depriving him from the affection that he needs to live. Sorry. For those of you who don't know, ooh, this one unrolled a little bit. Let's get this out here. All right, there we go. I'm going to rewrap that up a little bit so it's not quite so much hanging off here. For those of you who are not aware of who I'm talking about, Cuddlebug is one of the cats that we have. He is the cyborg kitty because he unfortunately managed to break all of the metatarsals on his left hind foot, and we had to get an orthopedic vet to pin them back together using 4mm titanium rods. So therefore, he is a cyborg kitty. He fortunately seems to have made a complete recovery. Does not appear to have any lingering pain or discomfort from that. He moves around quite easily, doesn't show signs that he's hurting when he's moving. So we think he's doing okay. But yeah, I did like a 30-second short while I was doing that. He's downstairs in the living room. I don't let him up here because he is a chewer, and I don't want him to chew on some of this thread and hurt himself. The cat we do let up here is Cuddlebug's arch nemesis. Cuddlebug and Serby hate each other, so we try and keep them as separated as much as possible. And the reason Serby is allowed up here because Cuddlebug doesn't attack the rest of the cats, and Serby doesn't really get along well with most of the other cats as well that we have. He kind of ignores them, but he and Cuddlebug kind of fight, so we let him up here as kind of like an extra roaming area, and he fortunately does not play with threads, and he doesn't chew on the strings. So, all right, let's see. And I see from your follow-up chat that you did catch that, the answer for that. Yeah, the break was bad enough that he wasn't going to be able to, recover with a cast. He actually needed the bones pinned. I still have the X-ray pictures, but I probably won't post them just because they're kind of horrific. The price difference between doing the orthopedic pinning and having the leg removed was not that much price difference. And given, even though it was expensive either way, we figured if we're spending money on it, he was only 7 years old at the time. We would rather have him have the opportunity to have a much more active life, given he had so much of it left. Hey, Kumihimo, Steve. Nice to see you on. I think we have 5 that are 5 that are ours and 1 that is our roommates. We have a feral cat in the neighborhood that had 19 kittens in a year and a half until we got her trapped and fixed. We had to actually use a remote-controlled car to trigger the Have a Heart trap because she would be able to go in and get food and get back out without tripping it. Even when we kind of startled her from while she was in it, she still got out without tripping it. So we tied a string to it, had a remote control car about on the end of 30 feet of string. And I was sitting at the edge of the yard with the remote control for it. And when she went in and started eating, I started the car up. She looked at it and it tripped the trigger. And we got her trapped, got her fixed, and we're able to bring her back and release her. The mama cat is, and we call her mama cat, is feral enough that we can't even pet her. But she hangs around and we feed her and she keeps the squirrels away. So we're happy with that. So anyway, she had a bunch of kittens. The first generation, we have 2 cats left from that, which is Felonius de la Croix y Sergio Mendez. He's a fencer. That's from a audio play called The King of Horde Hill, which is a combination of King of the Hill and an SCA thing where they kind of combine the two, as if the King of the Hill family was participated in the Society for Creative Anachronism. I think you can still find it online. I might post a link to that sometime down the road. But anyway, that's a name from there because it kind of fit his personality. The other one we have is Solitaire from that generation. So that's 2 from the first generation. In the second generation, we have 3, which is Cuttlebug, a little girl who is... she's got some interesting things, but she finally started letting us give her plenty of scritches just a few years ago. And Stripe. So those are the 3 from the second generation. The third generation we were able to take to a shelter, and the fourth generation we were able to get to adopt out directly. I've got a cute video of one of those cats that I should probably link to in a community post sometime. So that's 5 cats there. And then we have Serby, which we rescued from a camping trip where he was not getting along well with the campground owner's cat, so we figured it was safer to take him home so he didn't wind up getting run off or whatnot by the campground owners. And then our roommate has a Siamese that she's had since before she moved in with us. So, all right. Yeah, we could try that. So 6 of ours, 1 of the roommates. So we got 7. The first generation, I think, is about 12 years old at this point. So, all right, let me quickly check, see if anybody is chatting on Rumble. Got 2 people watching over there. Nobody's really chatting. So, all right. I'm going to take another swig or 2 here. Well, we're up to 26 people. And then I will get started setting up the cones for the white. And I'm going to move the bench over. All right. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Five, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay. All right, let's see if I have everything I need. Yeah. Move these out of the way. Try not to bump the other camera. All right, so I'm going to be facing away from the camera for a little bit while I do this, though apparently you guys can hear me fairly well. Sorry, let me pop that one down. Okay. I'll go ahead and put up some hold music while I'm doing this. I'll turn it down so you should be able to hear me okay without too much saying. Let's try night driving. Okay, I don't think that's too loud. If it is, let me know. All right, moving back to the comments here. I think I really lucked out with the particular microphone I've got for this particular room, so I'm happy with that. Okay. think what I will do is I'll rotate this out a bit here. I'll just have to remember to move it back when I'm done. Oops. That was a bit lower than I was expecting. Okay. So let's drop this off that magnet here. And have this one ready here. All right, so we're going to start with one over here. Let's make sure that we're go. And passing it through. And two. There you go. That looks good. Those are roughly the same length. All right. So we're ready for 3. So I'm thinking for Thursday, I don't have to work Friday. I'll have to check my schedule, see if there's anything that might interfere. But if not, I might run an extra long stream. As in more than 2 hours, since I don't have to get up early on Friday. I don't think I'll be interfering with anybody unless like Rob does a shop stream. All right, and he doesn't run those that long, so we'll do this one down here as 4. So I'll try and get as many Thomas set up as I can. 4 would be coming up to the top one on here. Pass that on through. And up here. I can't really do a daytime Friday stream because that's when my wife sleeps. She works night shifts. And she tries to get in bed by about 8:30 in the morning. So, and then she doesn't get up till about like 3 in the afternoon. And I really don't like interfering with their sleep. So if I stream on Fridays, it'd be out in the shop. Okay, so we're gonna do 5 next. There we go. So, so I really can't do like a daytime Taka-Dai setup stream. Saturday, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing then. Let's see, is this one? It's wrapped on the bottom for some reason, but it seems to be fine now. So Saturday, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing, if I'm going to be streaming or not. Sunday, I have Constable Continuing Education class, so I will not be able to stream that day, and I probably don't want to stream in the evening because I want to get plenty of sleep before going to work. So probably will not have a Sunday stream. Monday, I don't really have anything. I don't want to really interfere with Ian, but I might try doing an early stream and finish up before he's done, or before it's too far into his streaming time. All right. So this will be 6. Or did I miss one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Okay, so that's this one. Okay, so this is the one that should go next. All right, so this is the 6th one. Next one will be 7. All right, so yeah, sitting on this chair instead of on the floor, or the stool instead of the floor, is making this go much faster because I can see what I'm doing a little better, and I'm not holding my arms up over my head as much. Oops, let's see. Let's pull that one out of the way since that one got wrapped around that pole there. All right. So let's get this one into the bundle. Make sure they're all good. They're all together. I'll go to the right. The right. Oops. There we go. Okay. Now I can do this one for 7. I know the pain medicine is supposed to last, take it every 6 hours if needed, but I'm about 3 hours in and it feels like it's wearing off already. Okay. Yep, they're all going through the right spot there. Okay, so we are ready for 8. Things make sure that I don't wrap them around each other so they want to tie in knots as I'm pulling them. I have to say that this is definitely behaving much better than it did last time with the spools. I really like the cones. It's a pain in the butt because it's so expensive, but so that one. This one, okay. Here. Right, so that's 8. So we're ready for 10 now. So I'll do this bottom one here. So yeah. For those that weren't on early and haven't caught through on replay yet, because I don't want to screw up the channel review when YouTube decides whether or not I've done fake engagement when they review my channel. I'm not giving specific numbers for the remaining watch hours needed for monetization, but and we were at 1180 subs at the start of the stream, but at the current rates I'm going for people watching, I should hit monetization in about 6 to 7 weeks from this stream, if I can keep up the rate on that, which I'm not sure I'm going to be streaming quite as much as I was for the last month or so, because I had my marathon 12-hour stream. But the more members I get, the more people that do watch on streams, that'll help for the numbers there. I'm putting it roughly at 6 to 7 weeks from this point. And I'll update as we go along what it's looking like. Just to let you guys know what I've been thinking is, for super chats, I may revise it. I have no idea how much super chatting people are going to be able to do, but I agree with some of the other people I watch. If it's a choice between super chatting and essential stuff, do not super chat me. I don't want anybody to have any hardship for any support they throw my way. I would like this to become self-sustaining over time, but I don't want to put anybody in a position where they're having discomfort for their participation in the stream and supporting me. So I will also, I may have to revise it if my channel gets super large, but currently I will do my best to absolutely read any super chat that comes through. And I think I got all 12 there. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp this, and then I'm going to make sure I get all of them clamped. I'm going to clamp this, reposition it back to where it was, and then I'm going to pre-stage my tama and see how well the white threads work. All right, so this is back here all the way. This was midway between the two colors. All right. Let's pre-stage the tama. I can go ahead and take off the hold music, and I'll catch up on the chat real quick before I walk it out. All right. But what I'm hoping the main thing I get from monetization is I'm not going to do a ton of ads either, but I figure that there's probably a decent number of people who are watching who have like YouTube Premium. And once I get monetized, I'll get a share of that, which I'm hoping will be like the majority of income for people, from having the channel monetized. But I will always appreciate super chats if people feel so inclined, and it's not an imposition for them. All right, so yes, I did hear Ian Monday night say that they were going to do Trial of the Century, and yeah, I'm aware that they do it for members only streams to begin with, and then they do it public after that. Hey Sherry, when you catch up with this, hello, welcome back to the stream. And all right, so we are ready to go with the white threads. Let me pre-stage the tama, grab a quick drink in between, and then get started drawing that one down. All right. Okay. That one there. And this one here. All right, so let's release that there. And we'll move this out of the way so it doesn't interfere with anything until I'm ready. All right, so I got all the threads there. Let's see if I can pull through. Is there anything binding? It feels like there is. Let's see. It's causing the issue. That one's free, that one's free, that one's free. Okay, so that's the one there. All right, so looks like it was wrapped around the base. So, and two. Let's. There's that one. Okay. Set that there so it's not wrapping around the bases. Okay. All right, so that's feeling like it's coming free. All right, so it looked like the problem I was having there is it was the threads were wrapped around the base of the cones, and it wasn't unwrapping freely. All right, so let's see. I have to jiggle this a little bit as I'm working. Not too bad. I think once they get going, it shouldn't be a problem long term. Okay. All right, so I'm at the tie-off point. Okay. And got all the threads through the leader loop. Let's get a nice even tie-off knot. Oh, the tension isn't as critical at this end. Go, there's one. Nice clean knot. And two, nice clean knot. And three, that's nice and clean too. Let's go ahead and, Now this is a little tangled up with the on the leader. Let me unroll this a little bit more so that I can roll it up cleanly. All right, whoops. careful. I do not want to get a knot in the leader that's not supposed to be there. Let's get ready to come on, there we go. And yep, there. Let's finish unrolling this. Okay, that looks good. Let's re-roll it. And just tape it here so it doesn't unroll. And walk our way back. So far it's looking pretty good. Put a little piece of tape on at the halfway point. So we know where our halfway point is. Walk back the rest of the way. All right, that's feeling pretty good. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's clamp on here. And put down there. It's out of the way. Ready to do our snip. And snip. Tension is nice and even. All right, got enough length there. And pass this up. Okay. Okay, so that's where that's supposed to be. Let's get the thread passed through. Okay. Make sure I've got all of it, and the tension is, come on, uniform. There we go. That looks good. And I'm just going to pull this and make sure that everything is good tension-wise before I tie it off. Yep. All right. Tension is good. So let's move this over so you can see what I'm doing here. There we go. And sorry if I'm giving what seems to be excessive information as far as my plans for how the channel's going forward, but I want to be transparent as to what I'm wanting to do with it, so it's not a surprise to people. They don't feel like I've gone so far and then, whoops, hey, changed where I'm going midstream. And there's 2. That's looking good. And there's 3. All right, so move this back here. Gonna roll Tama up here until kind of brought tension even with, there we go. And dual arc set knot. Hang that there. Yeah, looks like I might have messed up the tension a little bit. Something to pay attention to going forward. Should be easier when I'm not having to wrap it around or have the D-rings spinning around. Okay, so that's probably enough there. Hey, Snowfers, glad that your internet's working better. Okay. Oh, Francisca, currently it looks like I am roughly 6 to 7 weeks away from that happening at the rate I've been getting watch hours. Let's see. Okay, all right, so that's where that should be there. All right, and so, all right, so we need that on top. Okay, so yep, that is going on top. And this is actually needs to be above here. All right, so should be a little easier from here on out now that I got more than two on. Let's go ahead and pull this a little more even. Okay. And this goes up here. Yeah, like I said, there's a little bit messed up with the tension, but not too bad. I think we'll be okay. Though the white should all be, yeah, all on that side. Okay. Next one or two should be pretty good. All right, let's see how, now that I've got both sides set up, let's see how fast I can do another one. Take a drink real quick here. Hey, I'm happy to share. And yep, 2 on makes it definitely more stable. After like 2 more, it should be nice and stable and not have to worry about it. And then the fun part is getting the weave through done. All right, so stage the next set of Tama. So I got 4. I have 80 left to go. All right, so stage the one here at this end. And the one at the warping frame. All right, let's see how easy this side is again. It's pretty easy last time. All right, just pulling this off here. Actually, let's leave this over the side. And all right, I should be able to just walk this back. Hopefully no issues. Yep, it's looking like it's doing pretty decently. I might need to eventually redo the saran wrap, but it seems like it came through perfectly. All right. Just need to tie this off. This is so much faster than the last time. Well, I only have about half the length, admittedly, but I'm not having to, at least on the blue, I'm not having to fight to get the, there we go, first knot done. Not having to fight to draw it out. It just slides right out. Doesn't feel like it's twisting a lot or anything like that either. They're just coming right off the cones the way they're supposed to. All right. So yeah, I think this third one wasn't quite as clean, but all right, that looks good enough. So once I get going here, I should be able to improve my speed quite a bit. All right, so get to the halfway point. Tension is good. Let's go ahead and put on the little tape flag where a halfway point is. Now it looks like the blue here just about matches painter's tape blue. Painter's tape blue is a little darker, but in low light it looked pretty close. All right, so, and we are back to here. It's looking good. All right, gonna put the clip on here and set this down here. There we go. Looks nice and good, nice and even. Got the tension going good. All right, let's do our snip here. Yeah. Let's grab our pre-staged Tama. And all right, so we are going to pass up through the bottom. And that's much easier. Yeah, let's move this over here so you can see me tying the knot. This leader loop is not that large, but I think it'll be more than adequate. Only have to pass through it once, and there we go. Sorry if it's a little out of focus. All right, don't want to make it too long or too short. Okay. All right. And there we go. First knot. Looks good. And second knot, nice and tight. And let's see, am I missing one up? Okay, nope, I think I got them all there. There we go. Third one there. Let's go ahead and roll this one up. Hold the line even. Okay, and move this back over here. Do a quick lark's head knot. And I don't know if it's like better humidity or no static from having to deal with the having reeled the thread on the spools, but it looks like it's not having as much static issues as I had on the last one. All right. Okay. All right. So now the fun part, figure out what I did before. All right, so I need this to be on that side. Yep, that's how I want it. All right, so move this way. And this one's the one to the right. Sorry, the one on the right is on top. The other one's on the bottom. So if it's under the first one, it'll be over the second one. So I bring it up on top of this one here. And this goes here. All right, so we're doing blue, white, and blue. The first weave is good, but it needs to be a little more even here. Let's pull this one up so the flags are in roughly the same spot. There we go. That one could also use a little readjusting. Up until we get like about 6 or 8 of these on here, they tend to slide really easily. That's why having the flags on is a good idea. All right. That's about the middle there. Be a few more before I get looking pretty even. Let me catch up on the chat here. Hey, Sherry Reed, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you on. Yeah, I definitely am on the engineering side of the scale. Welcome back. Hopefully the Excedrin works well for you. Carefully untangle them. It takes a bit of skill to kind of get used to, practice and skill to get used to it. If you're talking about this part being tangled, yeah, if I see it tangled, I got to untangle it before I go on to the next step. I am using the same number of Tama, that's T-A-M-A, that I used on Rob's braid. It's 84. So I'm using the same width. And for those who haven't seen it, let me go ahead and show you the design we're doing for Dani's braid. And on the back side, it'll be a blue background with white for the snowflakes here. And this is a couple moves longer for the repeat. It's about 95. The Rob's was 87 to get a repeat of the pattern. But this has a, little more or larger elements. So, and they're a bit spaced a bit further apart. So, all right, let me catch up on the rest of the comments. Okay. So for this particular braid, 82 would be what's the best way to put it? No, it's all right. So I have like 2 blue, 2 white, 2 blue, 2 white, and I have one more blue than I do white on each side. So I actually wind up with like an odd number of each color. Trying to get it into my head well enough that I can explain what's going on here. So what I could do is I could actually tie off each tama individually to here, or find some way to clamp it or whatever. I mean, I could tie off a single tama, blue and then white and then blue and white, and I don't have to do it where it's actually tied off on both ends. To do it this particular way, what's called a flat start, where I have one tama on one end and one on the other, is apparently a little bit more difficult than a lot of other ways to do this, but it gives you a really nice look, which is why I like doing it. So I do 2 blue, 2 white, 2 blue, 2 white till I get to the end, where I will do 2 blue, and then I'll have a white individual one, and instead of like having another tama on the other end, I will take half the number of threads, so it'll be 6 threads, and I'll do it the same length, and I'll loop it over and then tie it off on the same tama. So instead of being like one passing through here, it's like it'll wrap around and tie to itself for the last white one, and then I will do one more blue one the same way. So so that's why I always cap the bottle of my soda when I set it down. Otherwise, we can wind up with a mess. So I've got 84 tama. 82 of them are a tama on each end of the threads. 2 of them have all of the threads tied to a single tama, and it's looped around this here. Of the 82, 41 will be one color, 41 will be the other color. It's actually 40 will be one color, 42 will be the other color. So 43 and 41. 43 and 41 threads. 43 of the blue, 41 of the white. I'm getting rambly there. I apologize that. So I hope that explained it pretty good, or at least well enough that you can understand. Sorry if I got too rambly. Thank you, Sherry. All right, so like I said, my pain medicine's kind of wearing off a little bit, so it's a little harder to get the words from my brain out to my mouth. I understand what I'm doing, and it's making sense to me internally. It's just I don't always get the words from the inside of my head to the outside. All right, so we're ready for another set of white. Let's pre-stage the tama. But yeah, please feel free to keep asking the questions, because the more you guys understand it, the more cool this looks to you, at least in my opinion. And you'll understand what not all that many people will know how to do. All right, so we're ready for the white. So I'm going to go ahead and move the magnet here to the underside so I don't interfere with pulling the thread. Let's undo the clamp here. They're nice and even. Feels good. All right. Still getting some resistance. I'm not sure what's binding. All right, I'm going to try moving this back a little bit more, just so it's more of a straight up for some of these. All right, which ones are having an issue? So this one down here. All right, let's pull this one off. And yeah, it's the cone is sitting on the thread, and so it doesn't want to unwind. All right, so there we go. That's feeling nice and loose. So I think what it is just once the ones that had a little bit too much unwound from them when I start, when they're all where they're not like having excess hanging down that it can sit on, it'll definitely improve there. Yep, this is going much nicer now. Just a little bit of jiggle. Yeah, it's definitely not taking near as long as it did the last braid setup. All right, so let's go ahead and get this knot tied off on this one here. And the nice thing about jumping directly from braid to braid is I'm getting more fresh memory, muscle memory type stuff going on here, where it's not as where I have to like think through each step as hard, because I've done it recently enough that it's like, oh yeah, that's the way that goes. So that's helpful. And alrighty. Now, admittedly, as I go forward, each time I add a color, I'll need to get another 12 cones to add that color into my supply of thread. But as time goes on, I'll have to do that less and less, because most people are not going to pick the particular shade of something that's off from the rest of them. I won't need like a bunch of different blues or the like. So once I get some of the more common primary type colors in, blues, greens, reds, whatnot, I won't have to order as much silk going forward, which will make me happier. All right, so we are pulling back here. All right, that's not taking out as much as it did before, time-wise and effort. All right, let's bind your clip on here and put it on the magnet. Get ready to do our little snip. And just make sure past my fingers it's not horribly uneven, so the snip line looks good. And there we go. All right, let's take our tama over here. It's been pre-staged. Let's go ahead and that's enough to pass through. And just go ahead and pass that up through. Make sure that all the threads nice and tight. Pass it on through. Go ahead and move this over here. And let's tie this off. And we're about 2 hours in. I might try another set of tama or two, but I will probably end relatively soon, just because, migraine and wanting to get a good night's sleep for tomorrow. A little bit of unwinding time before going to sleep. But like I said, I plan on having another stream on Thursday that may run longer than normal, which will be nice for those on the West Coast. And if I run late enough, Dani might be able to come on. It's late enough for her time zone, where it's not as much of an issue scheduling wise. All right, there's two. And one more. So I'm also going to probably keep sending invites to Rob as well, because he wasn't able to pop on during his braid, but I would like to be fun to chat with him. I really appreciate the support and the shout outs he's given me. That's really made my channel grow a lot faster than it would otherwise, as most of you I'm sure are aware of, since a lot of you have come from there. or from Ian's channel. And some of you have been here since Nick's channel, and some of you were even prior to that when I was just interacting with you on Facebook and the like. All right, let's go ahead and tie the orc's head knot off on here. And we'll roll up the other side. All right, so let's move that back to there. Make that nice and centered. All right, and I don't know if it's just because I'm dealing with shorter or the setup is better, but I'm not dealing with anywhere near as much tensioning issues. All right. I know shorter is definitely helping for some of that. Okay. All right, so this needs to all be on this side here. All right, and I want, yep, this side needs to go over the, let's see, yeah. This side is over the top, this side's under the bottom. All right, and white is on top, so this needs to be above the blue. And it was, yeah, under, this one coming here is under the first one, so it needs to be over the second one. All right, that looks good. All right, and let's make sure the flags are staying roughly where they're supposed to. Let's see. Okay, first one's in a good spot, so the second one needs to bring up. There we go. All right. We'll need like another 2 of each before the weave really starts holding together where it's supposed to. Let's. All right, let's. Okay, so you can see that better. All right, let me. I like the nice focus on this, but the depth of focus is very small. It's hard to get it just right. All right, so let's see on the top. And it's a manual adjust, so. I'm gonna back this all the way out here, see if I can't get some better light on here. All right. Let's bring the field in. Kind of split the difference here. All right, that looks reasonably in focus. All right, so we have 8 here so far. Let me catch up with chat real quick. Oh, thank you very much, Chris. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Please, if you haven't done so, please like. If you haven't subscribed, please do that as well. That would make me very, very happy. And share this to anybody you know that you think would like this type of content here. Yes, I use the dreaded C word of content. All right, let me catch up real quick. Okay, I hope that works out pretty well for you. Definitely post pictures, at least on Facebook or whatnot, for that. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do. Yep, definitely like that. Oh, and what I was trying to say earlier that I kind of think I got distracted and missed it. Since I didn't do like a palette cleansing braid in between, the next braid I'm going to do for legal vices is going to be like a green and yellow. And I was thinking that I could do a palette cleansing braid in between, maybe do the Makiko again in like a green, yellow, and white, but doing it with silk. So I'm thinking that would be nice to do one of those braids in silk. I can do that one relatively quickly, and it'll give me a chance to, you know, kind of, well, I don't know. Yeah, if I can do 3 colors with that. So, and I'm trying to think for a second there how well that would work out. I might have to change the rack or whatnot. And I still haven't really set up a good way of doing the braiding. I might try, instead of doing like a tama on each end, I might do the loop around and see how well that works. But yeah, I'll have to figure out the best way to do that. So anyway, all right. So we're about 2 hours in. I've got 8. It only took about 7 minutes for the last set of tama. Let's see if I can get another blue and another white in without too much extra time. So let me go ahead and stage for that. That would give me 16 tama setup, which would be reasonable for a 2-hour stream, especially compared with the last braid. All right, that looks good. Well, probably a 2-hour and 15-minute stream at the rate I'm going. All right, so I'm going to move this one back up here. Let's see, we have all of the. Did I lose any threads? Did I have any drop out? So I think I had some drop out. All right, so yep. All right, so this one needs to come up too. Yeah, I had some apparently fall out of the clip that I had. Let me see if I can get these all lined up again. Frustrating there. Spend the time doing that. Wonder if maybe a piece of tape wrapped around them just to keep them together. All right, so that needs to be pulled forward a bit more too. And okay, so those are all together. All right, so and let's see, looks like that one fell off too. Yep. Okay, so let's pass this one up. Oh, I remember what I did. Last time when I was having this issue, I would wrap it around the binder clip handle so that it kind of gave it some extra. So that one there also needs, yep. Pass this one on through. All right, at least it's not too hard to get this back up and running if it doesn't mess up too much. Okay, so those are all together there. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I'm missing this one here. All right, so there we go. That's the end on that. And passing this one on. Come on. There we go. And starting to look about the right thickness again. Some of these even. Okay. Any others? All right, so 2 there, 2 there. All right, so I think I got everything back on. All right. 2, 4, 6, 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, yes, I do. All right. That was a little frustrating, but we're back up and running. Okay, let's just pull this. Yep, that's working pretty good. No binding. Blues are still better than the white as far as ease of draw through. Okay. All right, let's these so they're nice and even. The end's going to be a little frizzy, so to speak, for unevenness, but excess on that end isn't a big deal, and it's not like I don't have enough silk right now. I have more than enough for this particular braid, and for probably at least another 10 to 15 going forward. All right. And one more knot. And there we go. Wrap it up to where it's got the right starting spot. now that I've got it tied off, there we go. Work our way back. This is nice and smooth, no feeling like it's binding or twisted around itself to where it won't keep even tension. All right, walk our way back even more. All right, so they're all going through there. Looks like, did I? Crap. All right, looks like one of these did not. Yeah, it looks like I was one thread short, so I'm just going to walk this here and tie it off with the rest of them, and it should be just fine. I just need to make sure that I walk it back to the right point. Okay, tied off one, and tie off. Come on, you can do it. It's a little harder when it's just one because it's so much thinner. It's a little hard to make sure. There we go. It's two. And one more, and I'll have three. Almost there. And all right, so third knot there. Just walk this back, redo the tape so it's around all of them. And I'm just going to use a fresh piece just because it's easier than trying to untape it and then retape it back up. All right, so fresh piece of tape here. And I got all 12 in. There we go. Now walk it back here. All right, so yeah, they all look good now. All right, so what I'm going to do is put the clip on here, and let's wrap around. Okay, so it's all one there. All right, so wrap around there. All right, and let's see, hold even. That looks like I missed one with the clip. All right, so I'm just gonna clip on here and just set it right now for the snip there. And now, there we go. All right, so that looks good. Walk this over here. And pass that on through. Nice and even tension. Move it over here. And just need to tie this off with a couple of knots. Get that all passed through. And there's one. And there's two. And one more. There we go. And we'll just move that back there. And roll this one up. Take up the slack. And lark said knot. Just hang it off from here. And roll up the other end. Okay. All right, so this needs to be on the bottom on this side. And all right, so okay, so this one, let's do that there. All right, so this one with the flag is on the top. This is coming from the bottom, and it's on the lower level, so it's under. And we're going to go over and under. All right. And there we go. Let's get the flag in the right spot. And pull that a little better. There we go. Okay. I think I got to find some way, either some cord or something where these things don't shift relative to each other, so I get a better tie off on here where it's got even tension all the way across, because it was getting a little more open on that end on the last one. All right, so that one can be dropped a little bit. All right, so and then there. And for people who are wondering, this one here on the back is the same one as this one here on the front, and we work our way through like that. So as I'm working my way, I'm adding onto the back end, coming more this way, and on this side, I'm moving up to the front. All right, let me catch up on chat real quick. I'm not actually walking all that far. Yeah, I'm really liking the cones a lot better than having wound it on spools last time around. Okay. All right, so we're about, I think I can get one more white one, and then we'll call it a night. All right, so let's pre-stage the tama. Okay, so I'm going to wind up with 16 for what was probably closer to like an hour's worth of work. That's going to move magnet on the underside here. All right. And let's take it off here. So let's go a little on the underside. All right, so looks like we have all of them going here. Okay, let's see if I can. Which one is not going? Okay, it's that one, and it's getting caught on the underside again. It's getting a little frustrating. All right, there we go. Yeah, it looks like if it's binding, it's just because one of the cones is sitting on a thread that went under it. Okay. Yep, it just walked back nice and easy once I released that one. All right, so we're looking at about roughly 15 an hour. I have about 70 left to go. So we're looking at maybe about another 5 hours of warping up, depending on how much faster I get as I'm going along. Because I expect that as I continue on, my speed will pick up as I get more comfortable with this. and pick up the little bits of muscle memory needed to make it easier. Or I don't have to like think as much. I can just let my hands do the motions for me without having to engage the higher brain. Kind of like how, caterpillar can walk as long as it doesn't have to think about how it's walking. There we go. Kinesthetic memory. All right, so that one is upper staging point. Walking back. Nice even tension. No binding, no wrapping around. They're all just where they're supposed to be. All right, let's put the tape on there. All right, walk our way back. And a clip on here. And our snip. There we go. Stage our tama. Yeah, when I don't have a problem, this is definitely a lot faster. Okay, and pass it up through the bottom here. Just get them all together. Make sure I got them all gripped. There we go. Move the camera over here for tying off. All right, so if I do like a 3 or 4 hour stream on Thursday, and depending on how I feel on Saturday, maybe do another stream there. That might get me like a good chunk of the way to where I could actually probably start actual braiding potentially sometime Saturday or Monday or Tuesday. So one of the things I think will help improve things if I'm able to like get the braids done much faster than I have been. Sorry, I didn't hope I wasn't going too high and out of focus. There we go. All right. So this is so much easier. I am really, really liking the current setup when it works right. Once I get all the kinks out of it. But it's still, even with the little kinks, it's much easier than it was prior to that with the previous braid setup with the spools as opposed to the cones. All right, let's just wrap this around. Yeah, actually, this may be even faster than I was thinking. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can shoot to get this all set up and ready to braid by Saturday. Okay, let's just drop this around like that. All right, so, yep. Untangle it real quick here. There we go. All right, so blue flag on, blue flag on the right. And it's on, this side is on top. So going under, over, then under. So, and set that there. Let's bring the flag up even. Oops, needs to unroll a little bit more on the right. And that looks pretty good there. All right, so, and it's starting to look like a proper weave. 1/1 twill weave. All right, I still got it done by 2 hours and 15 minutes into the stream. Hey, Lady Draconis, nice to see you on. Let me catch up real quick here. Hey, Crystal, nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. The pain medicine's wearing off, but I'm getting happier as to my progress, so that's working pretty good. All right. Excuse me here. Yes, it does. The amount of time I spent on Rob's braid, which is 5 feet long, was about 80 to 85, maybe 88 hours total. So I'm estimating the value of his braid, if it was to be sold retail, at about $2,400. But yeah, it does take a while. Hey, Lady Draconis, nice to see you on. I'm going to be trying to post more pictures on Facebook and Twitter and Reddit, so people can see, in addition to just the video. All right, so that is looking pretty good. All right. Okay, I'm just messing with the settings here. And maybe I should drop the, let me try that real quick. Give us a little better field of view. All right, and okay, that looks pretty good from my viewpoint. All right, I think I've got everything. Does anybody have anything else they want covered before I call it a night? So I have 12. Sorry, I was thinking 16. I've got 12 Tama set up, which means I have 72 left to go. Yeah, 72 plus 12. All right, so making good progress here. Thank you very much, Lady Draconis. And now that I'm remembering what I just said, thank you as well, Sherry, as far as I'm assuming that to the amount of time taken. Yeah, we're definitely not halfway there, but I figure about 5 or 6 more hours warping up, maybe even less than that, and I should have it all in place and ready to go. And Dani was the one who selected the color combination for her braid. All right, you have a good night, Kathleen. And to everybody else on here, thank you very much for coming by this stream. I appreciate all the likes and subscriptions. Let's see. Looks like we got 31 likes and 26 concurrent viewers. That's a pretty darn good ratio here. It's always great when you have more likes than you have concurrent viewers. We've had 92 total views. Let's see. I'm going to, see, anybody else? All right, we got 3 people watching on Rumble. Nobody has anything else they want to say there. I'm just going to do a quick check here on, we started with 1180. We lost 1 subscription in the course of the stream, so we're at 1179. And, all right. Thank you, Kathleen Frater. We will join back here Thursday night at about 7 or 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll try and get the stream set up a little bit earlier than I have been, so you guys have better warning. So everybody, stay safe and happy braiding.